One of the biggest matchups ever recorded in the history of Ultimate Fighting Championship has been scheduled to take place at the UFC 279 between Khamzat Chimaev and Nate Diaz. Is Khamzat Chimaev the right opponent for Nate Diaz? What is the reaction of Jorge Masvidal to this bout? What does Boris plan to do after this fight? Stay tuned and ensure you watch till the end to find out more. The UFC 279 bout is one of the most heavily criticized bout right now in the MMA community, and this has left many people wondering if Khamzat Chimaev is the right opponent for Nate Diaz. For a long time now, the UFC veteran Nate Diaz has been clamoring for a fight. Diaz even went as far as calling out the UFC on social media, stating clearly that he wants to finish his contract. The UFC finally gave Diaz an opponent, but it is someone that everyone least expected. The undefeated Khamzat has remained undefeated since he joined the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and most people believe that he has higher chances of becoming the UFC champion soon. Most MMA fans and fighters have argued that the promotion is not being fair to Diaz, who has contributed a great deal to the UFC and just simply wants to finish his contract. UFC President Dana White responded to these criticisms by saying that this is the type of fight that Diaz wants and it is the best way for him to exit the promotion.
Is it fair to say if Khamzat wins that fight, he'll get the title shot?
It's fair. I don't ever do that, but yeah, it's fair to say if he wins, that's the fight to make. He's already beat everybody twice in the top, whatever. So, yeah, that makes sense.
No matter how much controversy there is about the upcoming welterweight bout, we cannot deny the fact that it is going to be one of the most watched event in 2022 calendar. The both parties are set to meet in a 5-round main event and hold down a pay-per-view card. As the date for the fight approaches, fans have taken Chimaev as a betting favorite over Diaz. In preparation for the fight and as part of the marketing efforts, the UFC recently released a Bad Meets Evil video promo on Instagram.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfucker.
The promo on its own is captivating, but the most interesting part was when the two fighters commented on the video. This comment got the attention of everyone. Diaz responded as he often does with a fist emoji to show that he is ready to fight. On the other hand, Khamzat responded to the video with a reference to Diaz's Nocturne roots. The undefeated Boris wrote 209 with a casket emoji.
The interview is like bad matchup, like, you know, like I guess match that guy easy, you know, like, and the guy's getting older. He's not that guy like when he beats my guy, you know, like.
A larger percent of the MMA community have predicted doom for Nate Diaz at the UFC 279, making the UFC veteran to be the underdog in the upcoming fight. However, not everyone goes with this school of thought, as some people have indicated that Diaz can still shock the world with his performance. Top on this list is Jorge Masvidal, who strongly believes that Chimaev is overrated. The BMF champion has clearly stated that he's not a believer in the hype surrounding undefeated Russian. Masvidal went as far as analyzing the UFC 273 bout between the former title challenger Gilbert Burns and Khamzat Chimaev. Although Boris won the fight, he had a very tough time defeating Burns. Masvidal feels that the way the UFC 273 fight played out proved that Chimaev might not really be as good as most people thought. That was supposed to be his coming out party and it didn't go according to plan. I don't really think Khamzat is as good as they say he is. I'm more of a see than believe guy, and I haven't seen anything that makes me a believer in this guy yet. Masvidal also mentioned the endless cardio of Diaz, stating that it would be a major advantage for the Californian fighter, especially if the fight gets to the 4th and 5th round. The former two-time title challenger is in the best position to say this, after meeting with Diaz at the UFC 244 inside New York's Madison Square Garden 3 years ago. Gamebred won this fight by a 3rd round technical knockout due to a bad cut. I think Khamzat probably wins, but I can see Nate putting him away in rounds 4 or 5 because Khamzat doesn't have that gas tank.
I think Khamzat probably wins, but I could see Nate putting him away in round 4 or 5, you know, because Khamzat doesn't have that gas tank doesn't have that experience.
While we are all anticipating the Chimaev vs Diaz bout, Chimaev doesn't want us to forget that he has ambitions of reigning as champion in 2 divisions. The Russian fighter started out his journey in the UFC from the middleweight division, and he plans to go back to that weight class after he defeats Diaz on September 10th. The undefeated Chechen currently has a record of 5-0 in the UFC, with 2 wins coming from middleweight and 3 from welterweight. The 28-year-old won 4 of these fights by stoppage. Khamzat has been dominating the welterweight division since he came on board, but the number 3 ranked contender has remained focused on his goal of becoming a champion in 2 divisions. After Diaz, maybe I'm gonna go up, Chimaev told Ariel Helwani on the MMA Hour. If Usman wanna wait a long time, maybe I'm gonna go up to 84 and fight somebody there, because I wanna take both belts.
After Diaz, maybe I'm gonna go up. If Usman wanna wait long time, maybe I'm gonna go up to 84 and fight somebody there, because I wanna take both belts.
The bout was officially announced by UFC CBO Hunter Campbell through broadcast partner ESPN and reporter Brett Okamoto. The bout is expected to take place at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Here are some of the reactions of the MMA community on Twitter. Caposa wasn't too pleased about the matchup as he tweeted, "Spiteful and pathetic. This is how they reward 15 years of entertainment. Not so subtly trying to feed him to the wolves. Horse. Of course, Nate is willing to fight the hired goon. Sincerely hope by some miracle this blows up in their face." Bilal Muhammad wished that the outcome of the fight will shock everybody. "I hope Nate and Leon both win and ruin everyone's plans." Ben Askren added emojis and tweeted that the outcome of the fight might not really be nice. This might be really ugly. Ben Folks tweeted, "Dana White a few weeks ago. Nate's won 1 fight in 5 years. He probably should go box Jake Paul. UFC now? But first, let's match him up against our hottest welterweight prospect." Aljamain Sterling didn't say much as he tweeted that, "I'm exhausted." Randy Costa posted a surprise emoji. Matthew Wells tweeted, "Nate Diaz is 4-0 in September, #SeptemberDiaz." Simon Samano tweeted that the outcome of the fight will determine a lot for Nate Diaz. Will Nate Diaz go out in a blaze of glory or a blaze of some sort, or just not even give a F? Then peace out. Darren Till tweeted, "What a fight. John S. Nash doesn't really feel that taking up this fight was a good decision for Diaz. Think it's dumb of Diaz to take this fight, but if you're unwilling to contest it in court, a state court stacked against you, mind you, and you want out of your contract, then I guess it's the best decision you can make." Denny Segura stated clearly that it is a mismatch. "From a sporting side, this bout makes no sense. These two shouldn't be fighting each other. Dana says Diaz has only won 1 fight in 5 years, then why put him against a top unbeaten title contender?" Nolan King tweeted that Nate Diaz is trending at number 1 in the United States. Joe Giannetti tweeted, "Nate Diaz by sub and I painfully stand on that." BJ Penn said, "At Nate Diaz 209 is a real OG." Eric L. Barrison also agreed that it is a mismatch. "Not a fan, one is chasing the title and the other just wants out." John Anik posted eyes emojis. Gilbert Burns says he is ready for any outcome. "I might start a camp in case something happens." Jake Paul is solidly in support of Diaz winning the fight. "Better believe me, I'm putting my money on Nate Diaz to win versus fake Khabib." Luke Thomas feels it's a tough way for Diaz to exit the promotion. Squeaky wheel gets the grease, but that's a tough exit interview. And that wraps it up for today's video. What do you think of the Khamzat Chimaev vs Nate Diaz matchup? Who do you feel will come out as the winner? You can let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video. Goodbye!